What's going on, everyone? So it's been a long 3 weeks that I've not got to work on the travel at all, but finally we get to keep working on it. So let's get moved to the inside. I'll show you what we're going to do today. Let's get started. Alright, so today we're going to start addressing the rust in the floor pans and on the seat pan of the Travelall project here. So rust there along the bottom, not as bad as the driver's side was. A lot rustier back here. So you can guarantee when we pull this up that underneath there, this floor is not rusted all the way through, but it's so pitted that it's really close. So what I'm gonna do is, these two holes are important. That's where our seat frame needs to go. So I'm gonna build a little jig that locates these, and then we'll cut this whole seat pan out from underneath it. Once it's cut out, we'll look at the floor, decide if we need to replace it, which more than likely we're going to. Then we'll build a floor pan, get it back underneath there, and then build a seat frame up to that jig again. And this will make more sense as we get going along here. I'm gonna take this piece of angle iron, put it on there just right up to the edge, and put me a mark on the angle iron. Now here at the back, this angle iron will actually hit the seat pan back here where we can tack it up there. And we're gonna take pieces of scrap tubing and tack them from up here down to the floor. So we need to drill 2 holes in here. That way we can bolt this down here, tack it front and back, and that'll give us enough room to be able to do this floor pan and get this stuff out of here. Couple tacks in there against the seat pan, just a little piece of scrap out here to kind of stabilize that. Of course, our 2 bolts, and then a couple braces up here. So now I need to pull these couple bolts out, and we're gonna get this old seat pan out of here. Most of this will come up probably with like the little air hammer, and then these up here are probably solid enough. Gonna have to grind them off with the die grinder to get them loose. So let me get the seat pan pulled out of here. Alright, so got that seat pan out of there. That was too easy to take out. And I just kind of cleaned that up. This is usually where I kind of have a hard time, which is deciding how much I want to cut out. It's pitted pretty good right up to over here, kind of deep right there. There's a little bit of pitting over here, but it's like it just started. I wouldn't even really call it pitted. So I think we're gonna come up past here at least, but let me kind of get this mapped out and I'll show it to you guys where I'm wanting to cut out. Floor pan overlaps back here, nice and rusty. So we'll just take the spot welds off of that where it overlaps, probably cut it right along here at the top, come up over here, nice and rusty. We'll go behind our brace here a little bit, somewhere right in there, and cut up. This stuff right here is the last of the real deep pitted metal. So we'll probably come up there and across there, and that'll take us back there. So let me get this marked out and cut out. Probably would have been pretty smart to drop the gas tank. Luckily this thing's been sitting forever and there's no gas in it. I don't even think it'd probably explode if you tried to make it, but to be on the safe side, pull it out. Now that this is cut out, I went ahead and fixed a little bit of rust that was right here just by welding it up, grinding out the rust and then welding it up, little area. And then back there, that whole thing needed a patch. Along down there was rusted real bad. I didn't want to record all that because it's kind of a smaller version of what we're doing over here. So now let's take our old floor pan and see if we can build a new one. So I know you guys probably think I'm trying to be funny all the time when I say I'm not a sheet metal guy, but I'm really not. I do not enjoy doing sheet metal one bit. I'd rather be cutting frames. And I know I don't do this stuff absolutely correct. Again, which is why I say I'm not a sheet metal guy. I don't know how many people know I actually have an English wheel. I bought this thing from Grizzly and I'm not very impressed with it. It's half rigged together just enough for me to be able to use it. For this, we're gonna do a little pre-stretch on this before we bead roll it. This is the second time I've ever used it, and because all the stuff's so terrible and out of alignment, it kind of wants to take the panel wherever it wants, but we can still get by just for this video. So when we use that English wheel, all we're doing is kind of pre-stretching this metal a little bit. That way when we run it through the bead roller, it don't warp near as much. I'll tell you guys right now, I cannot... Get the hell out of here, Crow. I'm trying to make a YouTube video. I could not bead roll a straight line to save my life, so bear with me here. So I have my 45-degree step dies in here. I don't have a lot of dies for this bead roller. It just happens to work out where I'm lucky enough to have these ones, which are good for recreating the stamp that's in the floor. So let's see how bad I can butcher this. Wasn't too bad. Halfway stayed on the line. Yeah, it's not too bad. Good. Flattens back out nice because we pre-stretched it. Now let's go see how it fits. Usually I'll do like a good tack every 3 to 4 inches around, and then go back and fill in between every inch or so, and then weld in between, of course hopping around. So in case anyone was curious. So floor's welded in, looking pretty good. Happy with it so far. Almost looks like it's supposed to be there. Obviously didn't weld this in. We're gonna replace this forward, so no need in welding that just to cut it. So the next thing we're gonna do is finally build the seat frame. So I cut the first piece already, drilled the holes. This piece is roughly 16 inches long. It is 1.25 inches wide, and I drilled the 2 holes. So when you get to this part on yours, if you're doing this, you can kind of build the seat frame however you want. That's up to you guys. We just know where the 2 holes need to locate. I left enough room behind and in front of this hole for some 1-inch square tubing to be able to go there, and also be able to still get the nut on the stud that goes down through there. But we're gonna bolt this on here real quick. All right, so that piece bolted on there now. What I did on the other side is I just cut square tubing till it fit to there, down to the floor. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take some rough measurements and cut us a piece that'll fit straight up and down right there, and then straight up and down here at the back, and we'll get those tacked in. Well, now that this frame's all welded up, we can sheet metal it in. You can set this at whatever angle you want it, or straight across. However, I matched this side to that side. I accidentally built this piece when I was doing the driver's side. I meant to build it for the driver's side. It fit over there as far as the shape and being cut, but when I bead roll it and broke the edge, I was not paying attention and did it where it fit the passenger side. Of course, the transmission tunnel's totally different shape on this side, but I was able to kind of use it right there to set the angle, so I knew at least it matched over there. Checked it with the angle finder, everything's good. So we need to make a new template for filling in this front with sheet metal. We'll transfer the lines over as far as the height goes, and then bead roll it. And then my template from the driver's side actually fits quite well on this side, so we'll cut this one out of sheet metal, bead roll it, and we'll see if we can't get this thing wrapped up. Alright everyone, that's it for this video. I need to get the shop cleaned up and get me cleaned up. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something. Everything turned out pretty good, except for there in the last footage. I don't know if you noticed that the front panel on this side, I actually broke it and drilled holes for spot welds. And I was in such a hurry on that side that I didn't do it. I just wasn't paying attention, and I didn't notice it until I was done. Do I care enough to cut it off and do it again? Heck no. So, that's it. If you're new to the channel, please check out some of the other videos. Stick around. If you always come back, thank you guys again. I appreciate it. If you want to help me out, like the video, share it, drop a comment down below, or subscribe. All those things help the channel grow, so I appreciate it when you guys do that, as always. If you're on Instagram, I'm on there at Puddin's Fab Shop, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But don't forget, sitting on your ass won't finish your project. I guess I better get off my ass. Yeah! God.